shouldn't be doing,
Yeah.
those are the ones who don't have faith. Those are the ones who are running wild and taking advantage of people.
Yeah.
So when things go bad, if you're not one of those people taking advantage of people, then you know you have God on your side, because there's a calmness to it. There's a no anxiousness to it.
But Christina, if I may not disagree, but point out something out. When things are good, it takes courage to walk the straight and narrow.
Yeah, it does.
So it isn't one or the other.
No, it's 24/7.
That's good.
And usually when you see somebody who doesn't go crazy or acts up or do, things they shouldn't be doing, you think of them as a good person. Well, you don't know they're behind the stories. They could be just a crazy at home.
Right.
So you don't know.
Okay. Well, we're agreeing a little too much here, so we're going to move on.
Oh, joy.
Chapter 15. Then Ephes and Termite. Can you say that better than me? Terminate answered and said, should a wise man answer with windy knowledge and fill his belly with the east wind? Should he argue up unprofitable talk, or in words with which he can do no good? But you are doing away with the fear of God, and hindering meditation before God. For iniquities teach your mouth, and your choice of tongue of the crafty. Your own mouth condemns you, not I. Your own lips testify against you. You are the first man who was born. Are you the first man who was born? Or where are you brought forth before the hills? Have you listened to the counsel of God? And do you limit wisdom to yourself? What do you know that we do not know? What do you understand that is not clear to us? Both the gray hair and the aged are among us, older than your father, and the comfort of God too small for you, or the words that deal gently with you. Why does your heart carry you away? And why do your eyes flash, that you turn your spirit against God and bring such words out of your mouth? What is man that he can be pure? Oh, he who is born of woman, that he can be righteous. Before God puts no trust in his body once, and the heavens are not pure in his sight, how much less one who abandons the corrupt, a man who drinks injustice like water. I will show you, hear me, and what I have seen I will declare, which wise man have told, without hiding it from their fathers, to whom alone the land was given, and no stranger passed among them. The wicked man withers in pain all his days, though the years that they are laid up for the ruthless. Dreadful sounds are in his ears. In prosperity the destroyer will come upon him. He does not believe that he will return out of darkness, and he is marked for the sword. He wanders abroad for bread, saying, where is it? He knows that a day of darkness is ready at his hand. Distress and anguish terrify him. They prevail against him like a king ready for battle, because he stretches out his hand against God and defies the Almighty, running stubbornly against him with a thickly bounced shield, because he has covered his face with his fat, and gathered fat upon his waist. And he lives in desolate cities, in houses that none should inhabit, which were ready to become heaps of ruin. He will not be rich, and his wealth will not endure, nor will he possess spread over the earth. He will not depart from darkness, the flames will dry up his boot, and by the breath of his mouth he will depart. Let him not trust his emptiness deceives him, for emptiness will be his payment. He will be laid up in full before his time, and his branch will not be green. He will shake off the upright grapes like the vine, and cast off his bosom like an olive tree. For the company of the godless is barren, and fire consumes the tents of his birthright. They conceive trouble and give birth to evil, and their womb prepares deceit. Well, so far, I would say Job is much wiser than Solomon, because he's particular. He hits things not in general, but like looking at them individually. Is that fair? That's how I see it. Because when I read Solomon, Proverbs, it's general. It's a lot of stuff. But this to me seems much more accurate and precise, and like shooting an arrow at a. Is that fair?
Yeah, I guess. Because this is his life.
Right. And what Solomon is doing, Solomon wrote Solomon's life, by the way. Like I say, don't ask a preacher this because they won't answer. But the wisest man that ever lived, what a joke. So he writes Proverbs. Wow. Big book. Great. And then he writes Song of Songs, a love story. The only love story in Scripture between a man and a woman. Solomon loved, but then it all fell apart. Too much. The wives came, the perversions came, the gods came. You name it, he did it. Wisest man. What good did it do him? Then he writes, I believe it's Ecclesiastes.
I think so.
Well, it's one of the, yeah. And it's basically, oh my God, what a mess. What a mess, Mama. So I'm totally not impressed with Solomon's wisdom. And I defy any preacher out there to show me how being the wisest man that ever lived did him a beep of good. Where at least Job is wise on particulars. There's substance here. There's meat here.
And he had all of his friends around him telling him.
Later on.
No, well, his friend just now
Right,
told him.
A little, yeah. And basically he doesn't, you'll see, not a great job. I mean, he does falter. But I would take Job over Solomon any day of the week, because Solomon throws out all this, and like I say, I've asked many preachers. They don't have an answer. What good did it do them? In fact, another great example, if I may, Christina, and then we'll end, the Jews. The Jews were always giving God a hard time, correct? Now, one little problem. The last 400 years, God leaves. And what happens?
They behaved.
They behaved. But this is the danger. if any kids are watching, you can tell your parents this. This will shut them up for a second. So the Jews behave and they become good people. But guess what? What did they do? I always say this. They made the good God, not God good. So when Jesus came, they didn't recognize him. Because they could say, hey, we're not doing anything wrong. We're obeying the... And Jesus is saying, I'm here. The prophecy. They didn't get it. Their hearts were hard. This is why, Christina, listen to this.
I'm listening.
And you people out there, you listen to this. If I say anything you remember this. Life is hard. I get it. But never confuse loving someone and being good. Please, am I right?
Yeah.
As I say 1,000,000 times over, you get the greeting card. You don't remember the Hallmark part, you remember the little note, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the personal. It's between you and them. It's very difficult. You can't go around loving the people that love. I don't believe in that. No. Save it. But when you use it, mean it.
Yeah.
That is the most of everything I ever tell you. And once in a while,